Hi all! How to know you are an empath. 5 signs. This is Steve Bradshaw, aka Brad Monk, and we are going to go within ourselves to tap into the wisdom. My mission is to get you all connected, get you all flowing in this wonderful energy, and we're going to have some answers at the end. All the answers that I've learned through being an empath and through my mediumship that will solve some of the mysteries behind why are empaths so awakened at the moment and so involved. So look at that at the end for your answers. And also I will have some cleansing techniques, some meditations for you, and I will be doing a lot more stuff on empathic work because I feel that a lot of people are now awakening and now need help. Okay, so let's go over to Brad Monk to give us a bit of an insight into the 5 signs that you are an empath.
Many who were being awakened to the energy of the world that mediums used to get messages or to emphasize with their clients and surrounding were becoming more sensitive to energy. A medium job is to share a message to let go of emotions and guide the client to a better life or find their own path. As your senses opened, you could feel good or bad energy and caused you to react. If the energy triggered your own deep dark traumas, an empath wouldn't want to be around groups and people, hermit stage, but once their energies was balanced again or stuck in warrior mode, fight and flight, your reaction to people will change. This can often cause you to realize when people are lying or not being truthful as the energy doesn't match the words. Empaths can see through people to realize when someone is suffering or their energy can trigger a past feeling, and so you can empathize with the person, feel what they are going through. This ability enhanced your connection and lead to sign 2. Knowing stage or 6th senses. You just know they are not being truthful or what they say doesn't match. A lot of empaths are born as light workers and so have high morals to lead the way. This can cause you to get upset when people lie or mislead you and cause you to expect more of others, as you are hard on yourself. The 3 signs is we are open to feel what others feel and often attracted to lost souls or stray puppies. This can cause major issues as we often don't know why we feel low at times but are picking up on others we are in contact with who need our love and support, that normally the universe provides, but so many have lost the connection. This calling leads us to the next sign. You trigger others with your pure energy created by sign number 4, being of service. For brief moment you share that connection to connect others to their own awakening, or supporting and guiding is the part of the empath. We are often drawn to lost souls, looking to reconnect to the soul within. Which means we are attracted to place and people who have lost their way or looking for love and support. Due to we often reflect on life or spend time finding answers, our senses are heightened and so we want to help others. Some empaths become earth angels and work closely with the angels who hear the call of others and guide us to help, because the angels need human connection. They can't get involved without human consent because of free will and choice, and so guide earth angels to the lost souls. The overload of negativity can cause problems for the empath and create imbalance, and also trigger deep-rooted traumas, suppressed by the body and suddenly brought to the surface to experience. This causes the meltdown effect, and a lot who can't deal with the overwhelming energy, leads us to sign 5. Senses and chakras become closed down. The body fear of recreating the past life traumas and experiencing them, and so we then haven't an avenue to release emotions or negativity. This high and low effect can cause empaths to become unwell or want to not be around people till let go of. Now we shall go into answers to help you as an empath live the magical life of being an empath.
Thanks Brad Monk for his automatic writing and insights. And now we're going to look for the answers. So many people contact me about being an empath and how they attract certain people, how sometimes when they have partners who basically get annoyed by them, why they hate liars. Why is it that they're fatigued and want to be a hermit? These are all answers that I'm going to look at today, because it is for a reason. And you do these simple techniques, and I've even created some meditations to help you and some answers, because really this wonderful gift we have, when we understand it, it just opens a whole new world for you. You imagine all the senses open, all the chakras open, able to connect to the enlightened world, where you can really get all the wisdom and information to help you on your journey. This is what it's really all about. But because of the negative overload, because of the signs around us of people needing help, because of being of service, then it can be an overwhelming world. And that's why we tend to go into like the hermit stage. And that's why we tend to get put off by being an empath. Many, many people are being awakened. And the reason why I understand about empaths is basically because I've trained 30 years as a medium. This knowing kept coming up, this feeling kept coming up, this calling to be of service kept coming up. And it wasn't until I realized and understood it that I realized it's just being an empath. I mean, a lot of people used to call us light workers in the old days, and that's where we were actually seemed to be just shining a light for others to find their own way. And this is where it's gone even further in depth. You know, it gets to a point now that I've got to be very careful of who I am around, because some parts of my body can't allow the energy that I get flowing through it to pass through me. And it triggers my own little bits and pieces, especially family members, because you have an emotional, and even spirit world, they have emotional lessons that they're trying to help you, guide you through and let go of. And you have as well, we all have. So we get triggered. So sometimes when the more we're getting connected, the more we're starting to share our ability, the more we're triggering other people as well. That's why we get attacked. That's why we can see through people, because it triggers this morals that we have. Being a light worker, we're here really to sort of shine on the path and help people on the journey. So we tend to be a bit more harder on ourselves, and we tend to be a lot of judgment on ourselves. So this is just a natural thing that we do because we're trying to help. We really care about the world and other people, and we people watch and learn why people act a certain way. And so when we get a little bit upset when people lie to us. Okay, so really, when you get negative overload, when you're in situations, that is the time that you've got to cleanse. Because if you don't cleanse, then you will find that the overload will bring an imbalance in the body. It shuts down your senses, it shuts down your chakras, and it makes it a lot harder for you to feel things and understand things and see the big picture on things. So your first port of call should be a nature cleanse. That's the best for balancing. I've got a 10-minute one that does perfect. Also, you've got to understand that you've got to cut ties. Because why? By getting back to the moment, and whatever energy you're producing in this moment will create your next moment. So sometimes when we're overloaded, our body can't handle too much negativity. That's why we get tired, we want to sleep more, so it can fix itself. But because of so much toxic energies around, and toxic food and toxic water and everything, our bodies have struggled to sort of replenish the energy. And so that's why we go into sort of like immune system problems and automatically anxieties and OCD and panic attacks and everything like that, because our body has to go into this sort of mode of releasement quickly. Now, regular cleansing will counter that. So look for my mind, body and spirit cleanser. Brilliant. It also even puts in new vibrations to help you attract more of what you need in life. And because when we enjoy life, when we're happy, then we're more connected to the support and love of the universe. And so we don't attach to the lack and the negativity, which is causing major problems. Negativity isn't an issue. It's overload of negativity, which can come in many different ways. And that's why I'm giving you the answers today. Also, a lot of people go on about protection. Now, certain energies that come through can flow through the body. They will only attach when you have your own insecurities, your own fears, your own triggers within you. Deep-rooted past life traumas can be triggered as well and brought to the surface as the body starts to feel love of the universe and love of sharing with others and connecting with others. The body wants to get rid of this stuff, and so it brings to the surface. Now, if you're not ready to deal with that trauma, or your body does the opposite way and starts to hold on to these traumas and is frightened that you will recreate these traumas, and so it then goes into these meltdowns where you go into warrior mode, and it's defense mode, and it's attack mode, and it's blame everybody else mode, and you can't help yourself because your body's releasing. Yeah, so your body's like going into this sort of like, oh my God, it's like, if I get triggered when people who are teaching or mediums who are teaching claim things that they haven't done, or they don't understand that this person in front of them needs your guidance and help. Doesn't need your bullshit, doesn't need your hassle, it needs your guidance and help. It needs you to empathize with it, and that's why the sixth sense is so important. It's a knowing, and it's a brilliant ability to have in the mediumship. When you know what someone's going through, you can then change the way you give the message to help them. You can also feel what they're going through as well. This is the whole part of being an empath. You can feel and help people because you've been through it yourself probably. It triggers at first your insecurities, your fears, and your feelings of how you felt. And so you can empathize with that person. And then eventually, the one key area which is a struggle is that some empaths are also healers. So they automatically take down their protection because they're linking with somebody. The whole point of us all being oneness is linking, and then we start to feel the connection. This is what I'm teaching people. You feel the connection of love and support. You feel that you want to be of service. You want to help people. And it's like a calling within you to do this automatically. That's what an empath is. And light workers are. They have a calling to change the world or change and help people. But the biggest help is creating the energy for the person. When they merge with you, they then get connected to their soul, and then their soul to soul will guide them, will help them. And then all of a sudden, they're not looking for the blame and the warrior. They're in the moment of understanding and wisdom. And so they can then help themselves. Some people will reject that information from you. Because it's like, for example, you're feeling frustrated, and then you merge with somebody else feeling frustrated, you'll get twice as much frustration. And that's then sends you don't want to be around that person because they're making you feel frustrated. That's why when people go into groups, they're feeling everybody's energy. It's overwhelming, and it's triggering their own. It's making them, I've got to get out of here. So that's why you got to cleanse regular. That changes after time. When I couldn't walk into town centres, but then when I understood and was releasing more and letting go and sitting in nature more, other people's energies didn't affect me as much. But being a healer is hard because you can actually take away people's energies, their pain, their suffering, and that is the extreme part of being an empath. And you do it automatically sometimes, which is where the problem exists, because you're automatically, and that's why you get highs and lows, because you've got another person's energy as well as your energy, and you think, well, I felt good today, that all of a sudden I'm starting to feel low. Then once you find out who impart your connection, that's a very good point why I cut ties every day. Because everybody I've met, every place I've been to, there's an aspect of my soul there. And that is where you get the teachings, the learnings, the lessons. But sometimes you can also be connected to other people who are connected to loads of people. And so if somebody in your group or your family or your friends is not feeling good today, you will pick up on that. That's the being of service bit that Brad Monk talked about. And it also can be crazy because you've had a good day and then all of a sudden you suddenly feel low. And that's why when people talk about depression and feeling sad, sometimes it's not even your own stuff that you're picking up on. But because you're an empath, because you're here in a certain way to support, is more. It's not about solving people's problems, or even though you will be given information to help them on the journey. It's about just creating that space and that unconditional love for them to be able to find their own answers. And that's really the key to it all. But when you take away someone's emotions and say, for example, that somebody's got, say, some real negativity part of them, it can also trigger your negativity, and then start to, if you hold on to it, or you fear it, or you're frightened of that person being ill and this, that, and the other, you can recreate their energy within you, which is scary stuff. It took me years to learn about that and understand that. And so that's why I regularly cleanse. That's why I regularly cut my ties. Not because of, eventually one day I might be able to have the flow of the emotions and everything, that I will be able to allow it to flow through my body. But for now, because I've got so many people that I help out, and I don't want to disconnect from them, but at the same time, I want to be able to help them. But at the same time, you know, when it becomes overload, you know, if you can't get out of bed in the morning, you can't help anybody. So it's so important. Let's see if there's any other situations that we've got. So you become oversensitive. That's another one that you become. Why? Because things trigger you. Things get to you. You know, your environment, everything around you. It only happens when you're negative. When you're enjoying life, things don't bother you. You know, when your senses become more sensitive, then I mean the smells and the hearing and stuff gets, it's like overloading attunement of you can hear a pin drop. You know what I mean? That's how when you work with your senses, you know, you can become oversensitive, and that's why that's why a lot of people kept calling themselves sensitive in the beginning, because their senses were heightening. But really, this is just another form of mediumship, really, that people don't realise. It's another form of because the energy, mediums work with energy to link, to find out the spirit world's connection is the same energy. And also you can get from the DNA, you can get from the energy of the body, you can get information. So that's why. So being sensitive does help in the sense that you can understand and guide people and everything. Okay, so being rejected and attacked is very hard for an empath. You're here helping people. You're a light worker. You're sharing in the experience with somebody, and then to be attacked for it because your energy is making them look at their issues and their problems and they don't want to deal with it, or having negative people attack you because you've triggered or you've seen their true self and they don't like it. Especially narcissists and people around who are just people in pain. Please don't focus on this. A lot of people focus on the narcissist part of people, but they're in pain. They're lost souls, and a lot of empaths are here to just give them the space to hopefully connect to the soul and understand what they're doing. But they won't do. A lot of them don't do, because that's their journey in life. So we just got to understand that, you know. So getting back to it, the energy is, and why we're being attacked and everything is often because our energy just makes them not want to deal with their problems. They don't want to see that they're the issue. They're too busy wanting to blame and control. You're taking them out of their comfort zone, their control. They don't feel in control, so they have to try and control. So they try and control you more. Because actually you've made them realise they're not in control. If you get my point on it. So that's another point why empaths get attacked and everything. So for the protection, just put waterfall around you. So cleanse your aura. I do that with my, or if you want me to do it, I've got 5 as well. But cleanse your aura so that your negative thoughts are not trapped and other people's thoughts that you've absorbed. Because remember, when you link with somebody, if you do a lot of work on yourself, your aura will expand a lot more. That's why when you come into some people's energies, they feel good to be around because their aura is wide. But you also, as an empath, you're absorbing their aura and their thoughts and ideas and problems as well. So cleansing the aura is very important. I always put waterfall around me. And the reason for that is that even if I come across negativity, then it's going to be cleansed in the waterfall. Right, I'm going to teach you the ultimate secret. When you meet somebody, do I am love, I am peace. I am love, I am peace. Repeat that in your head. Cut the emotional ties with them. Then you'll automatically link on a soul to soul. So you'll want to share an experience, both of you. And you both will be in the enlightenment stage of experiencing. So you want to help each other. If, as an empath, you're finding that you're attracting a lot of people who are negative and one thing or another, it's because you're not meeting them on a soul-to-soul level. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad because, you know, the experience is a lesson. So it is good and bad. But if you're finding that you're attracting a lot more of this type of person, then just do that. I am love, I am peace, just to give yourself a little bit of peace. Not wanting somebody to judge you or whatever. And it's often the case is that because they're not connected to their soul. They're often a little bit lost. So that is just a little way. I always do it when I meet people. And then they get their own answers and everything because I'm holding the space and they're enjoying the energy that gives them a connection to connect to themselves, to find their own answers. And then they want to share it with you because that's what oneness is all about. It's the sharing of the collective, of the connection that we all can. And then the brain even loves that because it can see all the connections of the past, present and future and how you two came together and how spirit world and angels were guiding us to help people and this, that and the other. So then it becomes a magical world. There is one, if you start to feel down or low or whatever, it could be that you've overused your energy. So then just make yourself back into nature, put yourself in the nature box. Another little key thing is trace. As mediumship for 30 years, I've learned to trace. So basically I imagine, so if there's a part of my body that's not feeling too good or whatever, I'm just feeling down, I then try and get a cord and trace it. And then I follow down the cord, and then it'll either be a person or a situation or something that you might have to clear out, a scenario that is affecting you at this time that you've picked up or you've watched on social media. That's another place you've got to be so careful because you're connecting to a social media full of millions of people. And so the overall, at the moment, is fear and doubt at the moment and money problems and one thing or another. So a lot of people are picking up on that. And so when we have a shift in the energy and the shift in weather and stuff, then a lot of people are being affected. And so a lot of people are worrying. So you've got to be careful that because you're now starting to learn to connect to the universe, you will find that you will be picking up on what everybody else is feeling at the moment. So, but you know, just be wary of that. Okay, so I think I've covered everything. I'm going to, in my description, I'm going to put a link to my other empath videos. But there's loads of videos that will help you on your spiritual journey and will help you to look outside the box, which is the key. We get so caught up in the problem that we can't become the solution. You know, peace comes from being peace. You know, that's how simple it is. Be the energy of what you want to be in life, and you'll find your world will change. And the empaths that are being awakened at the moment, then just enjoy that you have this wonderful senses and your wonderful connection, and you're able to understand people more and learn from people more through this experience. Don't get bogged down in the negativity and the overload and the people hating and the people lying and one thing or another. That's just an understanding that you have so that you can see through people to help them because they're in pain. You can see that deep down that they're in sorrow and need help and support at the moment, you know. But just remember that you're just here to facilitate the energy for them to help themselves. If they don't truly want to help themselves, then don't share your energy. Not being in a nasty way or anything like that, but too many people find, you know, the lost little puppies that they need to help, but they got lost for a reason. And so that's part of their journey. And part of your journey is not always to help them on their journey. You know, the one thing that I was always told by my friend, well, it was my sister actually, which is amazing, is that you can help people, but when you help people and it becomes a detriment to your life, you personally have gone over the top. You personally have created that scenario. If you're meant to just support somebody or guide somebody in a direction and you go a mile down the road helping them and doing everything for them, then when they don't need you anymore, don't be upset by that. You know, don't be like, oh, well, I've done all this stuff for them and they da-da-da. It's for a reason. I see people coming into my life for a reason. They stay for a certain time for a reason. I have some great friends that I could not talk to for years and still be close with them. And there's a lot of acquaintances as well. And I see them because I've seen them part of an image I got when I was around in my place that I connect. And I knew that every single person, one of those, would be a benefit to my life, would share. And that's another thing. Get all your friends and line them up, imagine in your mind, and then cleanse yourself and ask what each person gives to your life. Then you'll understand what part they play in your life and what part you play in their life. And then you can limit the times with those who are just teaching you lessons. And, you know, because we tend to draw to the people that give us lessons and don't like us and stuff, because we feel that we have to save the world. But really, there's only one person to save, and that's yourself. And then you'll automatically save everybody else, because you'll automatically share your energy with those around you. Remember, go within yourself. When you go within, whatever's reflected outside is what is inside. So if your environment's not good and the people around you not good, it's because the inside is not good. Because you have false ideas and beliefs that's causing you not to be connected and to receive the love and support.